talking about other competitors with the Camry is total domination. And one of the ways that you can really see that is the craftsmanship inside the car. We've got soft wrap, a new center stack, and the technology is unbelievable. We have a new display that's going to tell us what tire is low in our tire pressure monitoring system, and we have wireless charging, which is a first in its class. With the satin finish, the joint seam French stitching, I double dare you to get into a competitor's car. You'll really be blown away by the magnitude at which they really paid attention to detail in the beautiful new Camry.
This is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. It doesn't matter what anybody says, when you buy a four-wheel drive truck, you're getting a rear-wheel drive vehicle, and you choose to put it in four-wheel drive. So that's kind of a choice decision. I'm going to go into four-wheel drive. So traction becomes important because I don't always drive my vehicle in four-wheel drive. We have a differential in the back. And what a differential does is allows power to be given to each wheel at different rates. The problem with the differential is power is always given to the wheel that slips, the wheel with the least resistance. So if I took my foot off the ground and started saying, hey, I'm going to walk, but I'm walking without touching the ground, I don't seem to be moving. And that's what happens. Of course, bad drivers just keep adding more power, and it just keeps going faster and faster, so they're stuck. So the first thing we do to make this not a problem is traction control. And what traction control does is the reason why the wheel is slipping is me. I'm over accelerating the vehicle. It's not the road surface, it's the driver. So the first thing that happens is the throttle will be cut. So it would sound like this, whoa, whoa, and it would slow you down. No matter how hard I push the accelerator, the throttle would be starved of fuel and air, which would slow the spinning wheel down. I mean, I always like to tell people, here's what it sounds like in a Prius. So you get a little sound difference. And once that wheel slows down, if you continue to pound the throttle, then the ABS can come on and it slows down the spinning wheel. And you may not believe this, but brakes can actually slow wheel rotation. Once this wheel is going slower because of the brakes, the differential puts power to the other side. If this wheel spins, power to the other side. So it goes, and it just walks itself away. And all you have to do to make this work is just get a Toyota. Adding on top of that, when I go to four-wheel drive in my beast of a Tundra right behind me, I automatically go into A-TRAC. I love when salespeople try to explain A-TRAC. They're driving a vehicle and they go, you just went into A-TRAC. Please don't do that because nobody knows what that does. A-TRAC is simple. It is traction control in both axles. So rear and front axle, and it almost completely eliminates the throttle kill, the whoa. So it just uses ABS. Front and rear, so it becomes supersonic traction control. And I'd be remiss if I didn't do one more traction device. In the rear axle, I don't have to always go to four-wheel drive. Remember, in a part-time system, you can't steer four-wheel drive on dry surfaces, hard-packed stone, asphalt, concrete, hard-packed dirt, because it'll bind the front wheels. I can use a supersonic traction device as low as 0 miles an hour called ALSD, automatic limited slip differential. I hold the track off button down for 3 seconds. It flashes ALSD on the dash. Now what ALSD is? Simply A-TRAC for the rear axle. So I have that super traction device for the rear axle and I can still steer. It's from 0 to 35 miles an hour. Key competitor, Chevrolet and GMC, in their upper grade Vortex Max packages have the Eaton G80 rear lockers. So once I get a wheel spinning at above 20 miles an hour, it'll lock the wheels together. The problem is if I turn, it disconnects that. I'm 0 to 35, and once I go over 35 miles an hour, it disarms itself and goes back to traction control. What a beast of a truck. Why are you waiting to put a Tundra in your driveway?
Now, a lot of Montanans are more than comfortable with putting the Camry in their driveway because truly, front-wheel drive is a beautiful pairing with VSC, Vehicle Stability Control. Now, we have to remember what the government said, which is that Vehicle Stability Control is the second top life-saving technology, only behind seatbelts, with airbags a distant third.
You know, Laura, one of the things about vehicle stability control is everybody has it. And that's the problem. When everybody says they have stability control, so that makes all stability control equal. That's not right. We start with a Bosch 4-channel ABS system. If your brake platform is better than somebody else's brake platform, then all your technology will be better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We also pair all of our cars up with electric power steering. So in the past, VSC simple. I'm driving around a corner and I turn the wheel and the car wants to go straight, which is understeer. So that's a bad deal when the only thing right there is the guardrail. Well, the way the car would feel that is I turned it, there'd start to be rolled to the outside of the turn. And once it got past that point, then the brakes and the throttle would work and it would slow the car down enough you can make the turn. The great thing about electric power steering is I did this, immediately the computer goes, wow, what you've just asked me to do can't happen, and it's faster than the inertia in the car. So when you put your 16-year-old behind the wheel of your XSE Camry and they go out there and they swear they're not texting, because there's no way a 16-year-old would text while driving, and they look up and they've missed their exit and they try to make the car do something it can't do, when everybody in the car was in danger, the Camry corrected the situation. Why would you not step up and buy a car that made your child a better driver? Endorse?
Endorse.
Endorse.
The last point that I have to make as a highlight of the 2015 Camry is value. And all day long, I have KC in the Tundra Beat with value, because on the new 15 Camry, we have so much standard equipment, it blows my mind. We've got Bluetooth, backup camera, a power seat, automatic on-off headlights, and again, that display that's going to give you so much information about when your oil needs to be changed and what tire is low. We have so much value packed into the 2015 Camry. Remember, Consumer Reports is on our side with the best overall value of 2015 being the Camry Hybrid. And for 2014, we've got JD Power & Associates, IntelliChoice, and US News World Report all giving the Camry an absolute best value pick.
You know, I'm not even going to have you vote. With the passion that comes from Laura, I lose. And I knew that going in. But I was still willing to stand up here and go toe-to-toe with one of the greatest salespeople in the United States for Toyota. And I held my own. So you can't say I didn't hold my own, but I yield. You know, let's wrap up on Camry. Everybody needs a Tundra, but in the driveway you need a Camry beside it. So why not just get both, right?
They're the perfect pairing.
Perfect pairing. We talked about the 2,000 changes they made for the Camry. Well, I figure if we give you a couple now, then you'll have us back and watch us again if we give you some more. Let's talk about the side curtain airbag that Laura brought up earlier. So it's 30% bigger than any airbag we put in a side curtain before in a Camry. But here's the difference. The last generation Camry, or the last model, the airbag would stay inflated for a second. So boom, you're protected in the side impact. Now Toyota says, well, what happens if it goes off the road on a snowy road in Montana and the car rolls over? So now the airbag on the side curtains on both sides stay inflated for a full 6 seconds. You can count it out. 1 pink elephant, 2 pink elephants, you get it. So in a rollover, we're protecting the customer even further. And XSE sounds like sexy to me. What a car. What? I mean, I wish they hadn't even named it a Camry, or I wish they had named it just the XSE, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we want to tell customers, if you're trading out of an XLE Camry and you're coming into this, you need to expect a whole different ride quality. Toyota goes to the next level. We increase the spring rate in the front and rear suspension so the car's more dynamic, more of a European type of feel. And the shock absorber on the XSE is very unique. When I'm driving down the road, I get a tremendous amount of vertical flex. So more vertical flex, the ride is very smooth, right?
Smooth.
I love that. When you do that signal to somebody, they look at you and go, that's smooth. Is that the universal move for smooth? Could you walk into a party on a Friday night and stand at the door and go, and they go, oh, he is so smooth. So it gives you that smooth ride you expect out of a Camry. But when you abruptly steer the car, when you pitch the car left and right, then what happens, there's a chamber on top of the shock that seals off, and now the shock can't flex as much. So it increases the dynamic cornering of the XSE. You know what's funny? I get so lucky to be able to talk to the engineers at Toyota, and I know you guys don't get to. And Laura does all of her research. There's some stuff out there that we built into the cars that we personally promise you, when we come to you, that we're going to help you understand why our cars are worth every dollar on the sticker. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And you know, let me tell you something. I want to thank Wrestler Motors and the beautiful state of Montana, and especially Laura Madison, for having me in here today. This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey.
You know what? I'm way past that. Give me a hug. This has been Saturday Morning Meeting, PK52. We'll see you next Saturday.